Hey everyone, welcome to the live stream. I am excited to be here with you guys today on a Wednesday of all days. Usually not my typical stream day, but this is what I was able to get in for the week. And let's click to get ourselves live on Instagram as well. Sorry for the couple minutes of delay. I had to restart my computer. I'm going back to some old setup stuff that I have because I just like that functionality a little bit better than I do going directly through StreamYard. And I've tried to make it work. Which way am I going? I'm going over this way. Tried to make it work through StreamYard for a while now, but I like it better the way that I had it originally. Anyway, today I'm going to be talking about a couple of minor updates, nothing really super earth-shattering going on though with the CPC exam, at least not recently. Although HealthCon's coming up, you never know what kind of bombshells they're going to be dropping on us there. I will definitely be reporting back in that aspect. And I will be talking a little bit about what's going on at HealthCon as well. Let me move myself over here so I can see a little bit better what's going on. All right, cool. Hopefully this looks and sounds a little bit better today. Definitely let me know if you're having any video or audio issues, because like I said, I changed settings around a little bit. But without further ado, let's get into today's stream. Hey everyone, welcome to today's stream. I am hoping we're going to be good today. It is raining cats and dogs. We are definitely getting April showers here in Pennsylvania. So my house power is out. Thankfully, I work out of a studio office. So that makes things a little bit more convenient because things are working here. Patrice, I am excited to see you here as well. Greetings from Atlanta, from India. The sound is great. Awesome. I am glad. Thank you, Tiger Lily, for letting me know that the sound is working out appropriately. I'm working out what's going on here on Instagram because I know I'm set up here and it never works the way I want it to. I can't see the comments from Instagram coming in. Oh wait, here we go. Third monitor coming in clutch. There we go. I can see you guys at least now. So, a couple of things I want to go over today. So someone had commented recently on my channel about their certification, right? So I had to do some investigation work with the AAPC recently. So here's what happened. Back in January, remember I took my dermatology examination because I wanted to go to the exam center and find out more about this exam center process and hopefully kind of ease some fears about what it was going to be like going to the exam center versus having it proctored by the local chapters. Hi, Myra. Excited to see you soon. See you in Vegas. So I went and took my dermatology exam because I knew I could probably pass that one pretty easily. So I took my dermatology exam, and then very shortly after, my certificate came in the mail. And I'm going to be honest with you. At this point, I have so many certificates from the AAPC. I have run out of wall space. So I opened it up and I'm like, oh, that's cool that they got it to me super fast. Now, usually they include a letter in there, and it was, I think, historically been a welcome to the AAPC thing that they always generate in. But this one was just the certificate. But the interesting thing was, I did not get a magna cum laude score on it, but they sent me that certificate that said I did. And again, it wasn't on the top of my priority list to call the AAPC about them and let them know because I have nowhere to hang this anyway. So I kind of set it to the side and forgot about it for a little bit. And then all of a sudden last week, or maybe it was even the week before, the brand new one comes that's corrected that doesn't have the Magna on it, which it shouldn't because I didn't get a 90% or higher. And oh, someone says I'm frozen. Am I frozen? Am I frozen? I hope not. But yeah, let me know if it does freeze. So I got the new certificate, all corrected, that doesn't have the Magna status on it. So I'm like, oh, I wonder if this was maybe a widespread issue. They accidentally printed them off. Maybe there was some sort of glitch with the new exam center. Maybe the exam center people are printing them off, and they printed off the wrong ones by accident. I'm like, I don't know, maybe this was a widespread issue. And then someone commented on my channel and they said they earned Magna status, but they didn't have it on their certificate, and that they contacted the AAPC and were told that they're not offering Magna anymore. And I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting. Like, I thought it was kind of an odd thing to offer when it first kind of came out anyway. So anyway, I went on my latest issue of the magazine, and it still has the newly credentialed members that earned Magna status in the magazine. And I'm like, well, I don't know what's going on now. I could see why maybe they had some kind of functionality issue and they're not going to offer it anymore. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to call the AAPC and I'm going to ask them. And I said, hey, look at. By the way, look at handsome Jacob on the front cover of the AAPC. All the NAB members look so good on the cover of the magazine. And they said it's still a go. They said that they are still doing the Magna certificates, that they're still doing Magna status. So I don't know what's going on with these rumors circulating about what's going on with Magna status and if it's going away or not. But I called the AAPC and they said that they're still doing them. So I don't know what all happened there. I might be able to kind of dig in while I'm at HealthCon and see like what the heck happened, but they said they're still doing them. So it looks like maybe it was just a weird issue recently. So double check your certificates. If you get a second one with no explanation, that might be why. Maybe they sent you a Magna one by accident and had to reissue a new one. Man, I wish these Instagram comments are on here. Coco Loca says she's late to the party. What have I missed? Just me ranting right now about the Magna status and if that's going on or not. On the topic of AAPC news, we've had this huge issue going on with Change Healthcare and them not getting payments to providers on time. There was an email that was sent out by the AAPC to AAPC members. There is a webinar that they are doing for free. I believe it is a 30-minute webinar that someone from Change Healthcare is presenting and kind of giving members some information about what's happened and what's going on going forward with the whole Change Healthcare situation. I mean, just based on the way that they have been structuring some of these like non-CEU webinars lately, I'm pretty sure they're not going to have comments on it, so you can't like log on and say all kinds of thoughts that you're having about the Change Healthcare situations. But if you're interested in that, it is called Update from Change Healthcare Next Steps for Restoration, and they're going to be discussing the cyber attack, and it's a 30-minute webinar. It's given by Representative Cindy Klain, SVP and GM of Optum's Insight Network and Applied Intelligence Solutions, blah, 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 partnership at Optum. So she's going to be going over that tomorrow. It is at 3 to 3:30 Eastern time. So if you're interested, definitely check that out. I am getting over a head cold and bought an entire bag of cough drops because I'm still just a little phlegmy. Of course, I didn't bring them with me. I am doing a free webinar with Decision Health coming up in a couple of days. Let me see if I can, I don't know if I want to pull that up right now. I'll drop it in the comments. Decision Health. There are no CEUs for the webinar, but it is on a lot of really important diagnosis code information that's coming for just primary care is what it is. I'm going to dump the registration link in here. If I can find it. Hold on. I'll hunt it down in a minute. Other than that, I will have some new courses coming in the future, just kind of reviewing what I have and what I will need to really dive into and update over the next couple of months. Oh, I know what I wanted to mention to you guys. There was a slight change. So I was doing an updated video on what you're allowed to bring to the CPC exam. And there was a small change that I noticed on what you're permitted to bring the exam. And I just wanted to highlight it to everyone on, here we go, on the reference materials. Oh, come on. Here we go. There we go. Hooray. All right. So as far as, hey, where did my PDF go? Now it just disappeared on me. Here we go. Maybe my internet's being slow. There was a slight change on what you are and are not allowed to bring to the books. And it's one of those things that like you would miss, but I would hate for someone to not do it right and then have problems during the exam. So when it says here about what is allowed for in person, it's in regards to the live remote proctor. Oh, it doesn't have it on this one. Is this an old one? Wait, hold on. Oh, man. Hold on. Let's see if it's in here. Beverage. There was something in here that says that you're not allowed to bring a beverage unless it's clear. I wonder if this is an old one that they linked here, and that's why. Let's see. Where did I find it? Certification exam questions and answers. What's allowed in our books? What are the requirements? All right, give me 1 second because I know I linked it on the video that I'm doing right now. Let's see. Small change here. Recents. Oh my God, my internet is like slow as heck. Or maybe I just taxed my computer too much right now. Maybe I'm about to blow up. Let's see here. Recent. What's allowed at the exams? Recording. Oh my gosh, my internet is going so slow. We do Q&A, so we'll be doing that in a minute, but I want to go over, here we go. No, that's the old one. I want to go over updates first, and then we can get into Q&A. So I can go over all kinds of certification stuff. We can go over instructor stuff, because it looks like there's some questions about that. Let's see if I can find the link. There it is. Examining instructions, live remote proctor. If they changed it back on me, I swear. Corella, the weather where I am is terrible. It has been nonstop April showers. I'm ready to forgo the Mayflowers if it will just please stop raining. Okay, here it is. Okay, so check this out. So it says on here, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. In regards to the live remote proctor with the drink on your desk, it says you are permitted to have a clear water bottle or clear cup of water on your desk. The bottle or cup must be unobstructed with no items on it, such as a label. I thought that was interesting, but it kind of makes sense. Like, I mean, I don't know what kind of sticker you could put on or label on a bottle that would be so extensive that it will allow you to cheat on the exam. But I mean, I guess we have to rule every possible thing out. So yeah, I almost missed this and I pulled it up and I'm like, oh wow, it specifies now that you have to bring a clear cup of water or a clear drink when you're doing your live remote proctored exam. That it can't be like one of these, a big old tumbler. So interesting. I thought that was really interesting. But yeah, let's go into some of the questions that are coming through. Let's see what I got for, I'm getting a question on Instagram. For remote proctor, does the same rule apply? I'm diabetic and have to have water at least. So with you are either if you're taking it in person or online, they're both technically online. If you're taking it in person or live remote proctor, the live remote proctor specifies that it has to be a clear cup or clear drink water. It actually says water, like, which is interesting. It specifies water, like, so I'm assuming maybe no coffee. I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're concerned, I would contact the AAPC directly and clarify with them. Like, but yeah, you are allowed to have for the live remote proctor a clear cup of water on your desk. For the in-person, what usually happens is they have typically most of them lockers or some sort of facility where you can close up your belongings, like your car keys if you take them along, or your cell phone because you might have to call a ride home or whatever, or you don't have to lock it in your car, and a beverage. So if you're taking it in person, typically they'll allow you to keep that outside of the exact exam room somewhere, so you can go out, retrieve your beverage, take a drink, and then go back into the exam room. So I would, if you're concerned about that with in-person, contact your exam center and just clarify with them what they will and won't allow. Because usually they don't allow the drinks in the exam room because it's an electronic exam with keyboards and mouses and everything, and they don't want you accidentally, spilling or what have you in the middle of your exam. This person's saying during their exam, they were told not to have any tabs. That depends on if you're taking it in the US or not, and if you're taking an AAPC exam versus an examination through a different organization. For US-based AAPC exams, you are permitted to have tabs, and that is on the AAPC US website. So if we're talking about med-term and anatomy, you do not have to take that through the AAPC. There's no requirement that for any of the AAPC exams, such as the CPC exam, that you have to take their med-term and anatomy. You can self-study it if you want. I love the book, Medical Terminology and Anatomy for Coding. You can actually rent the ebook for that if you want, and it's a lot cheaper. You could probably check your library to see if they have it. I think it's likely that they won't, but that is a resource you have available. But let me show you what the book looks like, because it's one of my faves, and you can buy it on Amazon. I usually have it linked in the video description. I have... Yeah, this is the older edition of it. This is the 3rd edition. There's a 4th edition now that is updated basically just for whatever code updates have happened that they needed to kind of tweak those. So that's this book. There we go. Medical Terminology and Anatomy for Coding by Betsy Shyland. It is a great book because it teaches you med-term in relationship to medical coding. And if you go onto the bookshelf website, you can buy it there. You can buy it if you want a paperback on Amazon. I have that linked below. And also you can rent it. So if you're like, hey, I just want to quick learn med-term and I don't want to I don't need this book after like 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, you can rent it for a discounted price. Kim is saying here, heads up for the CPCO test, all resources are digital, so you cannot bring in the allowed OIG printout. That's interesting. Yeah, I can imagine that there's some changes now. Probably anything that you were allowed to print out previously, you are likely not going to be allowed to bring anymore. Actually, let's take a look at that. Let's see what it says here for the CPCO. Because now a lot of the stuff that we used to be able to print and take along is embedded in the exam, just to kind of reduce the risk of having notes that you should not be having during an exam, for the minority of people that would actually do that. CPCO, so that's the Certified Professional Compliance Officer. 100 questions, and that's interesting. It doesn't say any books or references there. So are you not allowed to bring that anymore? Course certifications, CPCO. No references. So Kim, I'm just curious, were you not allowed to bring anything to the exam? I know some of them, they let you bring like a reference book. Like, I think, is it practice? Oh, practice manager says nothing. I thought for a while there they let you bring like the practice manager reference guide or something like that. Wasn't that a whole thing? Let's see if there's anything different here. Yeah, nothing. Well, that's confusing then when they change it. I mean, understandably so, but I can imagine that's very confusing because I know previously it had said something about being able to bring some kind of reference guide. But I don't think I even see them allowed here. Coding companion, crosswalks. Yeah. Huh. That's interesting. Very, very interesting. You know what else I found interesting? Was it here? There was look at this. Okay. This is where I think people are getting confused sometimes with these possibility that in the future they might add in some fill in the blank questions. So here, this is this little screenshot here, excuse me, in the reference allowed guides things that the AAPC puts out. They screenshot, this is actually what the exam platform kind of looks like. When I talk about like the split screen and how there's these different tabs and stuff, this is what it looks like. But the picture that they put on here was from the CIC exam, where you do have some questions that are multiple choice for the inpatient coding exam, but that's the only one where you have like fill in the blanks. So of course, that's the one they screenshotted and put on the allowed reference thing. So you can see if we do ever move towards having some fill in the blanks towards the CPC, I would not rule that out. Maybe in 2025, it might be a possibility to have a couple of them, a few of them, because we do for the inpatient coding. This is kind of what I imagine they would look like, because this is what it looks like for the inpatient one. But you can see on here, I wish this was a little bit clearer. I don't know if they've updated some of the other materials yet, but you can see kind of here where it has like the question and the case, and then here's your questions over here, and there's some other little tabs and things you can click on to go from back and forth. But yeah, there are the previous question, next question. If you don't answer it, it'll pop up and be like, whoa, 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 wait a minute, you forgot to answer this question here. Don't you want to fill something in? And you can opt to just say no. So you can skip around the exam. I've had some people say like, oh, you can't skip around on the exam. You can. It's just that you have to be like, oh, let me figure out how to navigate this and click around some of these buttons. So that's how you do that. I don't know if they've updated kind of their preview video that they have, because it was still kind of on the old format for a while, I know. Is there a book that has nothing but practice questions and scenarios for the upcoming certification? There is. There's if we're talking just questions, so the study guide has study material. There are questions in the back. There is the step-by-step medical coding workbook, but they have changed that again this year. It used to be last year they allowed you to have all of the answers for all of the questions. Now it's just most of them. It's more than half, I think, but it's just like random chunks of questions. Apparently they don't have the answers to. It's still an amazing study reference, the step-by-step medical coding books. But yeah. For which exams can you specify CPC, COC, or other? Just check the AAPC. Just Google the. Oh, actually, I'll link it. I'll link it here. Reference this material. This is what is the highlight, and then this is. I think they say if you're outside of the United States, I think they do specify on here like the India exams. But this is primarily, I think, for the US. And they do have, some of the India testing centers. Oh, look at that. Azure Learning Testing Centers within India will provide the resources. That's interesting. Huh. Fascinating. Okay. I'm getting a question here on Instagram. What's the difference between the CPC, COC, and CIC? I completed my training through CareerStep and have a voucher for the COC and CEHRS through National Healthcare Association. So first off, I want to let you know, most employers are looking for certifications through AAPC or HEMA. Oftentimes through different programs, they'll give you discounts for other certifications through, I know the what is it? CPCS is a popular one that they will give you as part of your curriculum. You want AAPC or a HEMA. I'm surprised that it's the COC through Career Step. So CPC is Certified Professional Coding, ICD-10-CM, CPT, HCPCS, and that's coding for physician and qualified healthcare professional services. Outpatient is outpatient facility, so it's working with the same code sets, but we're talking about going out on a UB04 form versus a CMS 1500 form. CIC is inpatient coding, so if you don't know ICD-10 PCS, you have to know ICD-10 PCS, you have to know about MSDRGs for the CIC exam. I would recommend going for the CPC. I think that's just a great one to start with. Give me 1 second. I just need to go blow my nose real quick. All right, there we go. Yeah, if you have a voucher for the CPC exam, Kokoloka, go for it. Absolutely. The study guides are someone's asking, are the AAPC study guides worth buying? Here's where I think they really come in clutch. If you're someone who's like been in medical coding for a while and you're like, I want to take my specialty certification, I want to take another even a core credential, and you're like, I feel kind of comfortable with this and I don't really want to spend the money on a whole entire course, or maybe you want to get a feel for how strongly you know something, I think they're worth buying. I definitely think they're worth buying. I've found them sometimes even helpful just to understand the AAPC's thought process on things, because I've started working more with NAMUS, which is the National Alliance of Medical Auditing Specialists, and their philosophies on how to score things, especially when it comes to like E&M, is different than the AAPC. So sometimes I need to refresh myself on the AAPC's philosophy on how to work for things. So I think the study guides are definitely worth purchasing. If it's something that you're like super, super familiar with, like if you have been working in dermatology for 5 years, you might not need it, other than to kind of see what the exam questions might be looking like or structured like, or their philosophies on things. But I think they're decent. I think that you could probably get away if you already have a good knowledge base of a topic with just getting the study guide. Having said that, if you're talking about like, hey, I've gone through full, complete medical coding training and you have the CPC training manual already, you might not need the study guide because it's basically a condensed version of the training manual. So I don't think a study guide would be helpful if you already have the full training manual, because it's just an abridged version, although they do ask different questions in them. So if you just want to buy it for the additional study questions, that's up to you. Mallory's asking, how many pages are the study guides typically? Is there a lot of information? It's really honestly a condensed version of the full exams. So let me see if I might have some on my bookshelf, so I can we can take a look at like the difference of just volume. So let me take a look. Vital Self bookshelf. I think there are a couple certifications that I might have the full training manual and the study guide for. Let's take a look. What all is in Victoria's bookshelf right now? Okay, my books. HCPCS. So here I have the CRC training manual, and I think I have a study guide for it somewhere here too. Let's see. MAT study guide. Okay, so it's an older one, but let's take a look. So here's the full training manual for the CRC. And obviously I'm not going to go through and show you the entire contents of the book, but we can see there's 12 chapters. It looks like around 194 pages till we get to the back cover, versus the study guide. Yep. The study guide's kind of a condensed version of it, and it concentrates more on the concepts that will be on the exam or come up commonly during the certification exam. So the full training manual for CRC was like 194 pages. The study guide is 133. So yeah, they've just, and it's 9 chapters instead of 12. I think for this one, they just mostly take out like some more of the breakdowns of ICD-10 CM. So I think it's, like I said, just a condensed version of the full training manuals. If I have the CPC exam book, should I buy the training book? Depends on what book you have. So the CPC exam book, the training, so what they don't call them the exam book. It's the CPC training manual and CPC study guide are the official ones to the AAPC. If you have something from other vendors, I can't really speak too much to those. Let me see what I got here. Oh, hold on. Because the CPC training manual is this, and then they have a study guide that's a smaller version of this, but this is the official one that comes from the AAPC. I see I'm getting a lot of questions about medical coding, living in India and working in the US. Since I am US domestic based and I've always been US domestic based, unfortunately, I don't really have a lot of insight as far as working from outside of the United States. Elizabeth is asking, I just started school with Preppy, like barely stage 2. Would you recommend I eventually order the necessary books for future use in classes and then the test eventually? Yeah, if you reach out to help@preppy.org, they will help you procure the books that you need, the physical copies for the exam. Speaking of which, if you are interested in a career in medical coding and are looking for certification and looking for training for that certification, I would highly recommend that you check out medicalcodingmasterclass.com and find out more about Preppy. So at medicalcodingmasterclass.com, it will give you the full roadmap of how you can become someone who is not at all experienced in healthcare and how you can be job ready as a medical biller and coder in as little as 6 months and potentially qualify for some bonuses like a laptop. There are some options that will give you a laptop included with your program. And they also provide an externship, which is so incredibly valuable and not something that you find anywhere else. If you want to find out more about a career in medical billing and coding and about the Preppy program, sign up for medicalcodingmasterclass.com. It is the free career masterclass that tells you about a career in medical billing and coding. So that is where you should enroll in medical billing and coding. You can go to medicalcodingmasterclass.com and find out about Preppy, and that is the program that I recommend. Stephanie, I'm working on the script today for an updated video on self-study. So I can't afford a course or program. Do you think self-study would be fine? What resources would you recommend? Self-study is not for everyone, but it is an option out there. So if you're someone who's interested in self-study, what I would recommend is you can buy the Bucks Step-by-Step Medical Coding book. You can get them paper or ebook. They're available on Amazon. I believe I have them linked below. Or you can get them online. So the cool thing about if you get the Bucks Step-by-Step Medical Coding books is they do include a course. The course is dry. It's not going to have an instructor with it, but it comes with the course. So you might as well use it. It does have, I think, some additional study materials, practice materials. I don't know let's see. I don't know what's going on here hold on. I don't want you guys accidentally maybe seeing my login stuff. Hold on one second. But with Bucks Step-by-Step, they really break it down. It's what I used to teach with when I worked at a tech school a number of years ago. So it's a really great program. A lot of people like it more than some of the other programs out there. And it is what Preppy uses. They use the Bucks material. So you can, wait, here we go. My access doesn't end for a while. Okay. So when you buy the book, it does come with a course. You still need to purchase a CPT book, a HCPCS book, an ICD-10-CM book, but you do, as part of your purchase of this Buck Step-by-Step book, you can get editions that do come with an included course. Let's see if it allows me course content, true code. I wonder if mine's not working right now. I don't know why. It should be. Self-study. Content updates. Content home. Let's go back and see if maybe my other edition one is working for 2023. While I'm clicking around here, I do want to remind you guys, I am going to be speaking at HealthCon in a week and a half. My presentation is going to be on personal branding. So it's going to be talking about kind of how you can promote yourself on LinkedIn, how you can promote your chapter online, how you can promote your business online. And I'm really excited because I've structured it to be almost like a keynote sort of level presentation. The room is very limited in person. So if you're going in person, please make sure you sign up, because they gave me a room that only holds like 106 people. And I think we're up to 66. So there's technically only room for like 40 more people to sign up for my presentation. Let's see if this one will give me access to the content, course tools, course home. I don't know, maybe my browser's not working correct right now, so it's not letting me show you what the course looks like. But yeah, the Buck Step-by-Step medical coding books you can buy. There's a workbook that comes with that. The 2024 editions do not have all of the answers. They do have a majority of them, but they don't have all of them. And then you still have to get your CPT, ICD-10-CM, and HCPCS. And then I also recommend medical terminology and anatomy for coding if you need to learn med term and anatomy. Typically, it's difficult to find free resources because the AMA has copyright licenses on the CPT code set. So because of that, oftentimes any materials they have to pay licensing fees to the AMA for. Yeah, so some local community colleges, yeah. So I took my classes through a local community college. That was 15, 16 years ago, and do accept financial aid. Although check your prices, because mine has gone up significantly in the past few years, and it's actually a lot cheaper to go through programs like Preppy versus financial aid. And then you wind up having, to pay that off until who the heck knows when with all the interest and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it depends on what kind of learner you are. I'll be honest with you. I used to teach at a tech school, and my jaw hit the floor when I found out what people were paying in tuition, because it was a for-profit tech school. I think the medical assistants told me that they were paying, and again, this was like 10 plus years ago, they were paying over $30,000 for their program, and MAs at the time didn't even make that much. Yeah, that's another consideration you have to think about, is that AAPC membership, CPC exams, that's all separate fees. That's usually not included. A lot of the schools will include like the NHA exams, which are fine for proficiency, but employers are looking for AAPC or HEMA credentials. Another med-term game. Possibly. Right now, no. I'm in crunch time. I've got HealthCon coming up. I've got some new materials I need to start putting together. And I've got a big Decision Health webinar coming up in a little bit. Actually, let me see if I can quick grab that email for you guys. Here we go. If you want to register, and I'll post this in the community tab as well. If you want to register for the webinar I'm doing with Decision Health in a couple of weeks, here is the link. I'm going to drop it in. I don't know that it's going to go out to all of the platforms, but I know it's going to go out to at least the YouTube. I do. I sometimes play games. I do. But yeah, PCS coding, I don't know PCS coding. I think once I start calming down, maybe in the next month or two, I can hopefully learn PCS. My idea, and you guys know I get crazy with ideas sometimes, and I can't execute all of them because they're just swirling around all over the place. But I would love to do a challenge where I study PCS coding every day for 30 days and then see if I can pass like the CIC exam. I am somewhat familiar with AHEMA, but I don't know stuff about their certifications and what have you. Lulu Adams, thank you very much for the super sticker. I know there's a way, here we go, to have them auto star super chats. I thought there was a way to have it pop up too. I think it shows on YouTube, but not on my end of stuff. But thank you, Lulu, for the $9.99 super sticker. Greatly appreciate you. Lulu Adams, CPMA. You know what? So I used to have a CPMA course. It is down now because I am not renewing my license with the AAPC. It expires at the end of this month. So I can't sell that course anymore, and I don't want people starting and then, take it away or have them question like, where did it go? So I'm not currently actively selling a CPMA course. I am in talks to do some workshops in the future, and that may include a CPMA. So hopefully, if I can finagle that, I will definitely let you guys know where I'm going to be doing CPMA education, because I know that's been a big ask of everyone. And I'm not someone that okay. When I put together a presentation, I'm not one of those people that can just like throw stuff on the slide and just talk. Like I want this to be almost a performance kind of piece. So when I put together, like I think a whole process through when I'm putting together. So for me to put together an hour-long presentation, like an hour-long webinar on a technical topic, I would say takes me between 30 to 40 hours, which is why I don't usually do a lot of webinars for other people, because it does take me so much time to put everything together. So you can imagine like when I'm doing review classes and things, like it's a lot of work. So they're not things I can pump out as quickly as I think other people might. I'm not a fast webinar PowerPoint presentation creator, I guess. What are special about CEUs? So when you are a certified medical coder, you are required to submit continuing education units in order to maintain your certification. That's a common thing in a lot of healthcare careers. Doctors have to do continuing medical education as well, so that they stay fresh in what's going on, that they're not trying to treat patients based off of information that they learned 10, 20, 30 years ago, right? Same thing with medical coders. We want to make sure that we're coding accurately, that we're doing everything appropriately. So we have to do continuing education units. Whether you're certified through AAPC or AHEMA, you have to earn those continuing education units in order to maintain your credentials. What kind of mic model is that? This one in particular is the Rode Podcaster, and it's on an arm from Elgato. It's a low-profile arm from Elgato. I have a couple other podcast mics. So HealthCon's coming up in a week and a half, and I'm putting together a schedule of people I want to interview while I'm at HealthCon. I've made a list. A couple of people are getting narrowed off the list. A couple of people might be getting added onto the list. And then I'm kind of trying to finagle my schedule around what I want to do for the conference, and then allot some time to do some interviews. So a couple people might be getting emails. But yeah, so I'm working on doing some video interviews while I'm at HealthCon, and I'm debating if I want to take my podcast mics with me or just take the lavalier microphones. So I know, Mallory, almost 150 subscribers. Do you believe that? It's insane. And every single one of them has been an organic subscriber, not a single one that was not obtained through natural subscriptions. I'm going to keep my mouth shut about some other channels. Did you decide if you will bring back your E&M course refreshers? I will at some point. If I don't bring them back, I will be doing workshops, so one or the other. I just can't commit as far as a date yet because I just have a lot of projects going on. But yeah, that's definitely something I want to work on. Any tips for modifiers? My tip for modifier is look at your modifier sheets, read through your Appendix A and CPT, go through your HCPCS codes, look at them, start getting familiar with them so that you remember what modifiers are out there and you're reading them and understanding what's really going on. So when you're reading through a case and you go, oh yeah, this was bilateral. Oh yeah, this was a reduced service. You know that there's a modifier out there because you're like, oh yeah, I remember I saw something. Let me figure out which modifier it is. Why not offer the CPMA course without the CEUs? I don't have materials right now. Because the materials I license through the APC expire at the end of this month. And I'm not going to renew my license with them to do that. HealthCon Regional in Philadelphia in August. Yes. So you will see me at the next several HealthCons, actually. I'll be at HealthCon Vegas. I will be at HealthCon Philadelphia. I'm actually a little over an hour, maybe an hour and a half, depending on how Philadelphia traffic is, from Philadelphia. I'm in Kutztown. So I will be at HealthCon Philadelphia. I might be looking for someone. I feel so full of myself when I say these things, but I have a coach, and my coach has suggested that I have someone follow me around with the camera and take pictures of me interacting with people and videos footage of people approaching me and stuff. So I'm like low key on the lookout for someone that I might be able to be like, hey, I will pay for your registration to HealthCon Philadelphia, but I need you to follow me around with the camera and take pictures. So yeah, I will be at HealthCon Philadelphia, possibly with an entourage. And I will be at the next year's HealthCon because I've already booked my room. HealthCon 2025 is going to be in Orlando at Coronado Springs, which is one of my favorites. I love Coronado Springs. There is this beautiful portrait, like a Dali-inspired portrait, and it's like a dandelion, one of those blow dandelions with the puffer ones, but it's got two little extra puffers on it, so it looks like a Mickey Mouse head. And every time I see it at Coronado Springs at the tower, I'm like, I just want to take this and bring it home with me and put it on my wall because it's such a cute little painting. But yeah, so you'll see me at the next few conferences. And then let's see what else we got here. I got some stuff coming up here on Instagram. Yeah, Philly in August. Yeah, that's where we're having HealthCon. I think is it at the Philly Convention Center? Is it at, if it's not at the Convention Center, I know it's like right around the corner from where the Convention Center is, right by the market. You ever going to be in Dallas? I will be in Dallas the first week in September, but not for medical coding stuff. Are there CEUs for this live chat today? No. But that is one of the things on my docket for the next couple of months. I want to start making some stuff for channel members, the paid channel members. And I'm thinking it might be a quarterly webinar with CEUs, because the ones that I have offered for forever are like old and not a lot of people sign up for them anymore. And those are all going to term at the end of this month when my license with the AAPC expires. And what's holding me back first is that, it takes a little bit for me to put together presentations. I would want to have them be at least an hour. And the vendor fees for CEUs have gone up. So it's like $300 and some odd just to apply for one CEU. But considering considering the amount of money that's coming in from membership, as long as enough money from memberships is coming in to offset that, I think I might start moving towards offering like a quarterly members only webinar with CEUs. Yeah, the puppet video. You know what? That was a lot of work and it was fun, but I feel like it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. But definitely let me know if you wanted me to continue with that. I have to do that. Yeah, so what happens is, Mallory, the courses that I have that are licensed, that use AAPC material, are going to be taken off the website at the end of the month, and then I'll be having some new offerings together. Like, there's a lot of things getting tossed around. If you have access to it, though, you'll continue to have access to it. But any CEUs that I currently have on my website stuff, the CEUs will expire at the end of this month. So you won't be able to submit any CEUs for future stuff. Can you speak on study tips for the chapter specific guidelines? I'm doing okay with general stuff, but I'm struggling with remembering how to code more specific things like diabetes. There is a playlist on the main channel site where I go over chapter by chapter. Chapter by chapter. Come on, load now. Where I go over the ICD-10-CM guidelines. I am working on some other ICD-10-CM stuff. I don't want to spill the secrets though on that. And again, because I have so many plates I'm spinning, every now and then I drop one. And then that's the one that people are like, Victoria, I thought you said you were going to do XYZ. And I'm like, oh man, didn't I? I did, didn't I? View your channel. But yeah, I'm hoping to do updated chapter reviews as well this year. There's so many things that I'm trying to get done. And then just a lot going on. But yeah, okay. So here on the main channel website, there's a whole bingeable playlist. It starts out with how to do ICD-10-CM, and then we start going chapter by chapter through the ICD-10-CM guidelines. Some of it is just reading it. Some of it is just kind of getting familiar with all the guideline-y stuff. But yeah, you can binge that whole playlist there. Do I have a playlist on coding multiple ICD-10-CMs? That one specifically, I do not. I keep getting told that I need to hire an assistant, and I'm just like struggling to do it. It would be great if I had someone to, like, as an assistant, just be like, can you make case studies for me? And then I just present them. So many ideas, so little time. Can you assist on freelancing jobs for medical coding? And if yes, where I can find them? I don't have any specific ones that I am aware of right now. You can check Code Health, although a lot of their stuff right now has been that I've seen facility coding. You can check Fiverr and post on there. And there's another website. What's the other website that's a Fiverr? But yeah, I don't know anyone right now that's offering. We don't really have a lot of freelance options in medical coding. What's the other website that's kind of like Fiverr? Upwork. You can post on Upwork that you're offering freelance work as well. Upwork and Fiverr. And that's a good point. Mallory says you can network on LinkedIn and see if you can find someone there. I have been doing more chapter speaking engagements, dipping my toes, getting back into it this year. And I'm hoping to get a presentation put together specifically on LinkedIn, because I think there's just some strategies that I'm aware of with LinkedIn that I don't think others are commonly familiar with. Sandy says, where can I get the CPT guidelines? They are located in your CPT book. Unlike ICD-10-CM, you cannot download them online for free because the CPT information is copyrighted. So you would need to have a copy of a CPT book in order to get the CPT guidelines. The guidelines are for each chapter. They're located at the beginning of that chapter. So there's not like a one file download you can get that's like, here's all the CPT guidelines. D, thank you. I was actually just laughing to myself. A memory popped up from a little over a year, maybe 2 years ago, where someone took a photo of them sitting in their classroom and their teacher was playing one of my videos in the beginning of their classroom. So yeah, if there's if there's anything that's a helpful resource to students, feel free to share it. I just ask that people don't like create a course that's majority of which is my videos. Like if you're making your own medical coding course and you're like, hey, here's my chapter on cardiology and here's some supplemental videos that Victoria has that you might want to check out. Like I have no problem with that. And also I request that you please not download the videos and like re-upload them, I guess, to your own website or something so that I actually get like the stream and the hit and the credit for it. Jennifer Romero, new member. Thank you for joining channel membership. Appreciate you. Yeah, as far as removing your A, I do have a video that covers that, but essentially the removal process to remove your A from your apprentice status for the AAPC CPC exam, there's only an A status for the CPC and the COC, no other certifications. You need to have 2 years of experience. There are different things that will each take away 1 year of experience. One thing you can do to take away 1 year of experience is have 80 contact hours of medical coding education. It doesn't need to be through the AAPC or an accredited university. It just needs to have from your university, your technical school, your training program, it needs to show that you had 80 contact hours of education. If you had 60 hours, 40 hours, that won't qualify. It has to be 80 hours. And it has to be some sort of like official document from where you trained from that shows the 80 contact hours. That will take off 1 year of that 2 year requirement. The other thing that will take off 1 year of the 2 year requirement is if you go through AAPC Practicode, which is honestly just cases. You just look at these huge cases, you read them, you code them from scratch. It's not multiple choice. It's just here's where you can input the CPT, ICD-10-CM, modifiers, connect them, etc. So it's intensive, but if you want to get that A removed and you want to do it faster, you can do that as well. But you can also find out more details on the full video that I have on that, which is, I think I just did it not too long ago, an updated one. Let's see. And thank you everyone for reminding you guys to hit the like button, subscribe button, and don't forget to tell your friends. Yeah, so there's a whole video I have that's how to remove your apprenticeship status. So you can find out more information there. And I think I also have some handy links there as well. Do you think if we went to community college for medical coding, that would suffice to remove one of the years? They have to prove that it was 80 hours. So if you can get a transcript from your community college or something else that shows that it was 80 hours or over 80 hours, that is likely to suffice it. If you just go into Google and type in CPC, how to remove your A, it should bring up an article that the AAPC has on how to do that. So like, yeah, how to remove your A. And there's a whole article here. And then that's the wiki. And then there's an article here on apprenticeship removal requirements by the AAPC. Karenny says, honestly, I learned more from you than I did with my course instructor. Thank you. I appreciate you sharing that with me. Yeah, sometimes we wind up having instructors that are like super, super smart, and they can code things off the top of their heads and absolutely brilliant. And certainly from a clinical aspect, I'm sure know a million things more than me, but might not be the right fit for explaining things for you. So I'm glad to have filled in some of those gaps for you. Nicole says, I love your videos. Thank you, Nicole. I appreciate that. Do I need to learn both medical billing and medical coding? They're kind of two sides to the same coin. You don't have to. If you just want to get into billing, you don't have to learn medical coding. You should probably know enough to be dangerous, enough to know what's going on a claim form, enough to know how modifiers work and ICD-10-CM codes. Do you need to know how to code a chart if you're going to be a medical biller? No, not really, but you need to know the essentials of a good foundation. For medical coding, you should also have a good foundation in medical billing. You should know, why things need to be structured a certain way as far as payments, bundling, how that affects billing, how to handle some of those rejections for billing if they need to be reviewed for coding purposes and stuff. So you don't have to be a master of both, but it's good to have, if you're going to master one, at least have a foundation of the other. I'm looking into my Instagram here and I can't see. Can you save this live? Oh, so if you want to see the live later on and you're on Instagram, I don't believe it shows or saves anywhere on Instagram, but you can always go to the YouTube channel, Contempo Coding, and it will be in there. Is it a fill-in-the-blank format for Practicode? Yes, Practicode is fill-in-the-blank. It is not a multiple choice. Stephanie says, I hear a lot of people say to get a foot in the door job. Would that be the best option for a first medical coding job? So it can be kind of hit or miss sometimes finding a medical coding job where your title is medical coder. What I recommend doing is you can go on when you're doing your job search and stuff, is to try to find something that's coding adjacent. And what I like to do, let me just let this load real quick and I'll share it with you. Okay. So let's say I'm on Indeed. I'm looking for a medical coding job. What you can do, stop that. What you can do is if you type in like ICD-10-CM instead of medical coding or medical coder, it'll bring up different jobs that are looking for someone that has those skill sets that a medical coder might have, but the title might not be medical coder. A lot of them will be, but some of them won't be. So let's see, we have here coding specialist, remote inpatient coder, compliance auditor, dermatology coding specialist, but we might start getting into some here, medical claims adjuster. So this might be a position where you're working with codes. They want someone who has some coding skills, but the title isn't medical coder. Patient accounts representative, again, it's probably a billing coding related job, but the title isn't medical coder. Some of them are coding advisor, and you might get some stuff in here that might be like nurse auditor, so things you might not be qualified for, but it'll broaden your search. So you can find some of those jobs where they're looking for someone with those coding skills, but it might not necessarily be titled like this one, certified medical coder. Yeah, Mallory is absolutely 100%. Practicode is very tedious. Excuse me. My friend used to be Lori Woods, Lori Jaramillo, has a Facebook group where I think it's called APC Practicoders. And then it's just designed to help people who are working through the Practicode process. Are the laptop speakers okay for the online exam along with the external webcam and the mic? Yeah, it's just that the camera has to be external. The webcam and speakers, it doesn't matter as long as you can hear them and see them and you're not using earbuds or headphones or anything like that. Anyway, I am going to be heading out. We're a little bit past an hour only because I started a little bit late. Tomorrow's video, we're going to be going over CPC practice questions. So I will see you guys in the next video. It's been awesome hanging out with you today. But for now, just keep on coding on.